Well, let's go ahead and do the Olympics, and maybe we'll play this Nick Saban audio for people at the start of the third hour, because Nick Saban, if you haven't heard, Jimbo Fisher said he was going to kick Nick Saban's ass. Texas A&M was going to beat Alabama at some point. Nick Saban was asked about it and had a pretty funny initial opening response before answering further. But have you guys seen this story out of New Zealand about the woman, biological man who is now a woman, that at 43 years old is likely to make the Olympics, according to some reports, again, out of New Zealand. 35 years old, decides to transition to a woman, and now is a weightlifter and may participate in the Olympics. I'm not sure exactly how these rules go, but in New Zealand, does anybody on the show feel like that is appropriate? My answer is no. You can't let biological men who have been certainly fully men for a long time decide they're going to transition to being a woman, because those men are bigger, stronger, and faster. And it's not a surprise at all, to me anyway, that they would be a lot more accomplished than most women because of the benefits of testosterone and the fact that men are bigger, stronger, and faster. To me, this challenges the very essence of women's athletics if you allow biological men to start to compete. I can't believe this is even a question. I think it's crazy, personally. Danny G, your thoughts?
I mean, to me, it seems fairly obvious that I don't know if we would have enough transgender people to do it, but they would need their own division. Can't mix them into the women's category. It's just not fair, as you've laid out all those points. Yeah.
What about you, Eddie? I find it inconceivable almost that any sports fan could think this is fine.
Yeah, I agree, especially if you're talking about something involving strength or some sort of combat sports. No, that's ridiculous. There's a clear advantage, and the women are being put at risk.
Yeah, and by the way, there's hardly anybody in sports that will even say this, I think, because everybody's so afraid of getting accused of being anti-transgender people. By the way, this is the same position that Caitlyn Jenner had, formerly Bruce Jenner, that this is not a fair transition in terms of being able to compete against women athletes after having been a high-level male athlete, that's just not equitable in terms of being fair in competition. And look, I don't have any problem if somebody wants to change their gender. If that makes you happier and you're an adult, by the way, then I don't have any problem with it. It's like you guys, this should never happen. I really don't get that concerned about choices that adults make as long as they're legal. But I do think the reason we have a separation between men's and women's sports is because women would never win any sport if there wasn't a separation. That's why there's a gender difference in athletics, because men are bigger, stronger, and faster than women and would win every award. I think I'm accurate in saying this. I don't think there would be a single Olympic medal won, for instance, by a woman if we just had one gender category for everything.
As the only guy on the crew here that has a daughter, no way in heck do I want my daughter having to compete against biological females
men that decide to transition to women. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Right now, obviously, it's different because she's 5 years old and she's in a co-ed league, which is funny. Some of the girls are even better than
most of the time.
Yeah, some of the girls are even better than some of the boys.
Best player, I'm coaching 9-10-year-old baseball right now. Yeah. Our best player on the team is a girl.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, she's got a cannon for an arm. She's bigger, tougher, stronger than the boys are, and that's not uncommon in youth league sports.
But let's say she gets older, she wants to play, say, college, and she's going up against, she's a pitcher, she's got to pitch to somebody who used to be a dude. I don't think that's a fair advantage at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy, and I can't believe that we're in this spot where people have allowed this story to develop to the point where we're now talking about potential Olympians, female Olympians, who were born male and lived their entire lives as men. Again, this story is out in New Zealand. It's just crazy. And I look at stories like these and I'm like, how do we end up here? And I think the answer is because people are so afraid of this. Somebody's going to call them transphobic or try to take their job if you say, no, you know what? I think we need separate men's and women's sports leagues. That's the very foundation of competition in America. We separate competition based on gender because men are bigger, stronger, and faster. So allowing a biological man to compete even after transition against a woman seems to me to be fundamentally the opposite of fair competition.